Black Monday has come and gone, and not too much clarity in the NFL ranks. The Giants, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Browns, and others continuing to look, by the way. It is a massive game of dominoes and musical chairs. And here's the situation. Over $1.5 billion average franchise value, increasing about 7 to 15% every single year. The owners got enough on their plates. A mandatory meeting in New York about who goes to L.A. We've covered that before. But some of these owners also have to deal with the stewardship of their own franchises, and especially with situations where the value of a franchise can increase or decrease up to 40%, depending on whether a team makes the playoffs or not. You're darn sure that a CEO of an operation like that, with a $300 million revenue number, it's very clear that the owners will make painstakingly careful decisions, even if they're not necessarily the right ones. One of the biggest issues for 2016, clearly the legality of daily fantasy. Is it luck? Is it skill? Lawyers all over the country being paid big dollars to litigate these issues in front of respective attorney generals, at least in New York and at least in Chicago, and maybe more places. There was initially a plea for public attention, then a plea for taxation revenue. Now the moral code in general is coming under question as lawyers are debating whether it's actually luck or actually skill. The daily fantasy sports topic is interesting in Canada, as the Canadian Gaming Association claiming that DFS should be considered illegal gambling under the Criminal Code of Canada. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, the parent company of the Maple Leafs and Raptors, recently signed a landmark 4-year sponsorship with DraftKings that pays Canada's largest private sports company more than $1 million per year. And TSN's parent company, Bell Media, part owner of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment Limited. Some 41.5 million players in Canada and the U.S. played daily fantasy gaming in 2014, according to the Fantasy Sports Trade Association in Chicago, and it's unclear how many Canadians participate. We do know this. It is a major issue across North America, and the industry spent over $300 million in advertising, and if we've seen one spot, we've seen 78,000. Many people are tired of it, but certainly 2016 should end in a resolution that determines the future of daily fantasy. The other biggest sports story of 2016, look at Daytona Rising and other facility development issues around NASCAR Speed Weeks. The $400+ million renovation, modernization, basically a new stadium with new escalator opportunities, new activation areas. It is the largest new motorsports stadium ever, and probably revolutionizing the sport as we know it. Bristol bills itself as the last Coliseum, also hosting the Battle of Bristol, a football game between Virginia Tech and the University of Tennessee on September 10. The event, the first football game played at the Speedway in 55 years, the football configuration holding, get this, 150,000 fans, and the Battle of Bristol is set to be the best attended football game of all time, a truly remarkable spectacle. Finally, on the NASCAR issue, TSN, the primary Canadian broadcaster of NASCAR, and this past December, NASCAR Canada announced a new 6-year title sponsorship agreement with Pinty's Delicious Foods. The series will now be known as the NASCAR Pinty's Series. This will help greatly at the grassroots level of racing in Canada, and will continue to promote NASCAR as a brand in Canada. Pinty's signed similar agreements with other major Canadian properties, including the CFL and curling. But the bottom line is NASCAR in North America continues to grow as the green flag for Daytona Rising drops in February.